Hi friends, I welcome you all at Crack Grade B. As you know that we are covering government schemes from various ministries. Today we are going to cover important scheme from this Ministry of Labor and Employment. We will cover some important highlights of the important scheme. So we can say that you are going to revise whatever you have learned about the scheme from this Ministry of Labor and Employment. We will learn about the Pradhan Mantri Man Dhan Yojana, E-Shram portal, and various labor codes government had introduced under this ministry. So these are some schemes which we are going to discuss in this lecture today. So these are some schemes which we will see in this lecture. Our first scheme for today is just a minute, right? This is a PM Rozgar Prosahan Yojana. Friends, we will learn about this scheme. Actually, when you learn about the scheme, you should know कि ये कब launch हुई, what is the launching date, what is the aim, what is the objective of the scheme. If given any eligibility, so you should know who are eligible for this scheme, फंडिंग, आउटले, टाइम पीरियड, अगर कोई चेंजेस हुआ है तो वो चेंजेस क्या हुआ है वो भी हमको देखना है इस स्कीम के बारे में. तो जैसे अभी हमारी सबसे पहली स्कीम है, द फर्स्ट स्कीम वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस टुडे इज पीएम रोजगार प्रोत्साहन योजना. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इट वाज लॉन्च इन 2016. Its main aim is to incentivize employer. How? I will show you. You know that if you will join any organization and any company, then there is a 12% contribution from employer side, and this is from employee side. So what government is doing under this employer side, 8.3%, that is known as the EPS contribution, it is given by the government or it is paid by the government. So what is the dual benefit of this scheme? Under this scheme, on one hand, the employer is being incentivized. Actually, what happened during COVID time or whenever you will face any situation, you see that if you are benefiting small industries and you are giving some package or you are giving some payment to this employer, then what will happen? If you are paying 8.33% of contribution, that is part of the employer, then he will get amount from the government, and what will happen? It will increase the employment base of the worker in the establishment. How? Because this 8.33% is given by the government. So whatever amount he is saving, he will invest this investment into their organization, and if their organization will increase, then employment base will also increase. The second, a large number of workers will find a job in such establishment. So on one hand you are increasing the industry, and second hand you are on the second side you are increasing the employment. So this is about the PM Rozgar Prosahan Yojana, that is known as the PMRPY. Now, who are eligible for this scheme? First of all the establishment or the organization or the industry which has registered themselves with this Employees Provident Fund Organization, that is known as EPFO, they can apply for this scheme and they can avail the benefit under the scheme, subjected to these conditions. What are these conditions? First of all, they should register with this EPFO and they should have a labor identification number. Then the eligible employer must have added new employee to his establishment, and to avail benefits under the scheme, the new employee must be earning up to 15,000 per month. We can say that if the employees are earning more than this 15,000, then they are not eligible, or we can say that employer are not eligible to get benefit of this PM Prosahan Rozgar Yojana. So The new employee earning wages, if they are getting 15,001 rupees per month, they will not be eligible to get benefit under this scheme. Now, what are the contribution? Please try to remember this point because sometimes you have question. इस तरह के कई सारे questions आपके एग्जाम में आ जाते हैं कि आपको छोटी छोटी चीजों पर बहुत ज्यादा डाइवर्ट कर देगा. So we can understand the small thing about the scheme. So first, the employer will continue to get the 8.33% contribution, which is the main part of this scheme, and it is paid by the government for this eligible new employee for the next 3 years from the date of acquiring a new UAN or 9th August 2016. So it was launched in 2016. So we can say that if any employer has acquired a new UAN number or he has applied for the scheme from on this date that is 9th of August for 2016, whichever is later. If he has acquired this number before this date, then its 3 years will be started from this date. That is, we can say that it was launched in 2016. Now, in the case of textile, we know that textile in our country is the largest, or we can say that is a major contributor in employment generation. Or in this textile sector, you will find some small industries. So, for this textile sector, that is apparel and made-up sector, the employers are also eligible for this 3.67% of EPF contribution. Friends, 12% contribution you are, if any employer contributing towards their employee, then one portion that is EPF and the second portion that is EPF goes into the account, and EPF is 8.33% and EPF is 3.67%. So in case of textile, government is also contributing this 3.67% into the employer's account, right? And the payment of this 8.3% EPF and 3.6% EPF by the government will be made after the employer has credited 12% EPF contribution. We can say that, right? Now you are able to understand from here that unless and until employer will not contribute their 12% contribution into the account of the employee, then until the government is not going to deposit or pay this 8.33% or 3.67%, whatever the condition. In second condition, it is 12%. In first condition, it is 8.33%, right? Then the time period. It was launched for 3 years from 2016, that is up to 2019 and 20. But government has extended this scheme from 31st March 2019, and it will continue to receive the benefit further for 3 years from the date of registration under the scheme, that is up to 31st March 2022. And this is a portal. You can visit this portal for the registration. So no one is going to ask about this portal, but you should know that what is the time period, what is the contribution, what is the eligibility, and what is the launching date. So it was all about this PM Prosahan Yojana. Now our second scheme is that is PM Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana. Friends, whatever scheme, जो भी scheme मैं आपसे discuss कर रहा हूँ, they all are very important because आपको इसके बारे में बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ना होगा. You should know each and every point because if you will see that nowadays RBI और जो SEBI है वो बहुत ही डीप में जाके क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है. तो आप ऐसा मत सोचना कि आपको सीधे सीधे वो पूछ लेगा कि दिस स्कीम वाज लॉन्च इन 2018 एंड व्हाट इज द एंट्री एज. समटाइम्स ही कैन आस्क यू दैट व्हाट आर the exit and withdrawal condition and who are not eligible. So you should know, you should have knowledge of each and every point of this scheme. So now our scheme is PM Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana, and it was launched in 2019 and its entry age is 18 to 40 years. It means 18 साल से बड़ा और 40 साल तक का कोई भी आदमी, कोई भी इंसान, कोई भी पर्सन इस स्कीम के लिए एलिजिबल है। नाउ व्हाट इज द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव? इट इज द स्कीम, इट इज यूज्ड फॉर द ओल्ड एज प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड वर्कर। फ्रेंड्स, आपने देखा होगा, यू हैव सीन मेनी पर्सन जो है वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लाइन में या कहीं कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल जॉब करते हैं, दे आर नॉट गेटिंग ओल्ड एज प्रोटेक्शन। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर 60 साल की एज हुई किसी भी एक अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड वर्कर की, या 62 का हो गया, अगर उसके अंदर बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेंथ है, वो तो 64 ईयर्स का हो गया। बट व्हाट विल हैपन अगर वो 64 ईयर्स तक काम कर पा रहा है, लेकिन अगर वो 64 ईयर्स की एज के बाद ही इज नॉट एबल टू डू एनी वर्क, then what will happen? So this scheme is providing old age protection. How? I will tell you. First of all, eligibility is, I have already told you, and the person should have monthly income below this 15,000, and he should have a mobile phone, a saving account, or a Aadhaar number for eligibility. And those who are not eligible under this schemes are the person who is engaged in organized sector. Organized sector matlab the worker who is working under PSU, public sector, and other companies who are protecting their employee, protecting their worker through this EPFO, NPS or ESIC scheme. They all are eligible for this PM Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana. Now, what benefits the person is getting under this scheme? The minimum assured pension, such as under this scheme, are he will get a minimum assured pension of 3,000 per month after attaining a age of 60 years. Right? Entry age is 18 to 40, but after completing the age of 60 years, he will able to get 3,000 per month after giving some premium into this scheme. It is a family pension. Under this, if the subscriber dies, for example, who have subscribed for this scheme and he dies, then the spouse of the beneficiaries, try to remember this word, only spouse of the beneficiary shall be entitled to receive 50% of the pension received by the beneficiary as the family pension. For example, if a person dies after 60 years of age, then his wife, his spouse, will get 1,500 of rupees per month under this scheme. And if beneficiary has given regular contribution and died due to any cause before age of 60 years, then his or her spouse will be entitled to join and continue the scheme subsequently by payment of a regular contribution or exit the scheme as per the provision. I will tell you what he is saying. ये कह रहा है कि अगर 60 साल से पहले कोई भी पर्सन की डेथ हो जाती है, देन उसकी स्पाउस या उसकी वाइफ या उसका हस्बैंड जो भी है, वो इस स्कीम को कंटिन्यू कर सकता है, जो भी प्रीमियम बन रही है उसको पे करने के बाद। नाउ व्हाट आर द की फीचर्स ऑफ दिस स्कीम? अंडर दिस स्कीम दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग ऑटो डेबिट फैसिलिटी फ्रॉम हिज सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट और जनधन अकाउंट, एंड द सब्सक्राइबर required to contribute the prescribed contribution. Friends, why he is using this prescribed contribution? I have told you that they are entry age for this scheme is 18 to 40. So if a person is getting entry under the age of 80, then the premium amount will be different, and if he is getting entry into this scheme at 25, then this amount will be different. So from 18 to 40 years of age, the premium amount will be totally different for different person. So he is saying that prescribed contribution. Now भाई अब इतना तो हमने कर लिया, what government is doing for that? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का क्या रोल है इस स्कीम के अंदर? भाई मैं तो नहीं दे रहा पैसे के लोग कहेंगे, तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि जो भी कंट्रीब्यूशन इस पर्सन की तरफ से हो रहा है, उसका जो इक्वल कंट्रीब्यूशन है वो आपका गवर्नमेंट पे करेगी अंडर दिस स्कीम। राइट? एज मैंने आपको बता दी 80 to 40 years of age, they are giving premium, and the same contribution, equal contribution is matched by the or paid by the central government under this scheme. The second point is that unorganized workers generally they are not very literate person. So government is doing, they are giving this facility from the common service center that is known as the CSC e-governance services in India Limited. and by visiting this place, any person can get enrolled under this PMSY scheme, right? And the subscribers contribution to PMSY, I have already told you, auto debit facilities they are also providing under this scheme. Now we will discuss the exit and withdrawal of this scheme. What happened? There are two criteria, that is 10-year and that is the before 10-year or after 10-year. If a person is withdrawing their amount before 10 years, then he will get their total amount along with the saving bank interest rate. And if a person is withdrawing amount after completing 10 years but before attaining the age of 60 or before the superannuation, then the beneficiary's share of the contribution along with the accumulated interest as actually earned by the fund or at the saving bank interest, whichever is higher. Try to understand this point. First of all, remember 2 points. They are giving only beneficiary's share of contribution. I have told you this is a 50-50% scheme. This is share by the person, this is share by the central government. And if a person is withdrawing before 10 years, then this 50% amount or beneficiary's share will be given to the person along with the saving interest rate. But if he is withdrawing after 10 years, then the actual interest rate or the saving bank interest rate, whichever is higher, he will get. What is the actual rate? Actually, what happens, whatever schemes government is launching, they invest this amount in some certain infrastructure project or other whenever जहां भी गवर्नमेंट को लगता है कि जहां इनको इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए वहां पर जाके इसको इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, तो हो सकता है कि यू विल एबल टू गेट सम हायर अमाउंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट रेट एज कंपेयर टू द सेविंग बैंक इंटरेस्ट रेट. सो ही इज सेइंग दैट जो भी एक्चुअल रेट उसने अर्न किया वो 10 साल के बाद उसको मिल जाएगा. नाउ द other scheme is that is national pension scheme for the traders and self-employed person. Now in previous scheme we have covered unorganized workers, but what about the traders and self-employed person? I mean to say, if a person who is selling some momos, then आप क्या सोचते हैं कि some protection schemes for that types of person should be there or not? I will say yes. Social protection is necessary for a person from unorganized workers to the traders and self-employed person. अगर कोई ग्रोसरी स्टोर चला रहा है तो उसको भी सोशल प्रोटेक्शन की जरूरत पड़ेगी, क्योंकि 60-65 साल की उम्र के बाद हम लोग काम करने के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हमारे अंदर क्षमता नहीं होती, कैपेसिटी नहीं होती और हम लोग काम करने के लिए कैपेबल नहीं होते. तो जो ट्रेडर्स एंड सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड पर्सन है उनके केस में भी गवर्नमेंट ने इस स्कीम को लॉन्च किया है और इसके भी कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस जो सारे फीचर्स हैं वो पहली स्कीम की तरह है. इसमें भी दे आर एलिजिबल to get 3,000 per month of amount and after attaining the age of 60 years, and the 50% contribution is paid by the government. But it was launched in 2019. The previous scheme was launched in 2016. Age should be 18 to 40 years. Contribution should be vary from 15 to 2,000 per month. We can say that if a person is at the age of 18, then its contribution will be 55, and he has attained the age 40, then its contribution will be 2,000 per month. Entry age, I have already told you, this is the eligibility criteria. Entry age 18 to 40 years, but this is for the traders and self-employed person. So we can say that under this scheme, you should have some criteria for this annual turnover, like annual turnover for this traders and self-employed person should not be more than 1.5 crore and they should have a GSTIN number, and under this GSTIN is required for the person which has a turnover more than 40 lakhs of rupees. Now who are not eligible? दोस्तों फ्रेंड्स, इस चीज पर आपको ज्यादा ध्यान देना है कि जो ज्यादा एलिजिबल नहीं है, क्योंकि इसको पुटअप करके एक बहुत ही ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन बनाया जा सकता है. तो हु आर नॉट कवर अंडर दिस स्कीम? एनी पर्सन who are covered under this national pension scheme contributed by the central government, or he is the member of EPSO, FO, NPS or ESIC, then he will not be eligible to get benefit of this scheme. अगर ये person income tax payer है, then he will be not be eligible. And if he has already enrolled for the previous scheme, that is प्रधानमंत्री श्रम योगी मानधन योजना, प्रधानमंत्री किसान योजना, अगर वो एग्रीकल्चर है, फार्मर है, तो तो वो पर्सन है वो इस स्कीम के लिए एलिजिबल नहीं होगा. Now the key features are same from the previous scheme. They are providing facilities from common service center. It is same from the Pradhan Mantri Mandhan Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana. And the contribution is 50-50%. I have already told you. And the conditions for exit and withdrawal are same. If he is exiting from this scheme before 10 years, then only the beneficiary's share with interest of saving account will be given to the person. And if he is exiting after 10 years, then whatever actual interest he is earned, or saving bank interest rate which will be higher is given to the person. So these are the two conditions for exit and withdrawal. Now friends, this is last scheme, and in my second video we will cover all the scheme in two parts, that is part 1, and in part 2 we will cover the other scheme. So this is part 1 and this is the last scheme for part 1. In part 2 we will learn about the e-Shram portal and the labor code. Then our scheme from this ministry will be finished. And in my third video related to this scheme, I will give you some multiple choice question which will be based upon this scheme which we have learned in these lecture. Right. Now this Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana, friends, it was announced under the Atmanirbhar Bharat 3.0 package. What happens after COVID? We have faced COVID situation from March 22 September, or we can say that more than this. So government has launched Atmanirbhar Bharat package 3.0 in October. So government what is doing under this scheme, under this Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana? First of all, it was launched in 1st October 2020 and it was launched to increase the employment generation in the post-COVID recovery phase and to incentivize creation of new employment. हम सबको मालूम है कि जो कोविड सिचुएशन में बहुत सारे लोगों की जॉब्स चली गई थी, तो उसमें क्या हुआ था कि जिनकी जॉब चली गई हैं और जिनको सोशल सिक्योरिटी बेनिफिट नहीं मिले हैं, तो विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस आत्मनिर्भर भारत योजना रोजगार योजना गवर्नमेंट आर बेनिफिटिंग टू दीज पर्सन. व्हाट इज द एम ऑफ दिस स्कीम? Under this scheme, they are incentivizing employer for creation of new employment, restoration of losses employment through EPFO. Approved outlay for this was 28,810 crore and it will give benefit to the 58.05 lakhs of the person. Under this, they are directly paying, the government is directly paying into the EPF account of the employee who are already member of the EPF scheme 1952. Their time period, there are two phases of this scheme. The first, when this scheme was launched, its last date for registration was 30th June 2021, but government has extended this registration from 30th June to 31st March 2020. Now the benefits, try to understand, it is very important. Under this scheme, government is providing subsidy for 2 years from the registration of new employee drawing monthly wages less than 15,000. It means the person who is joining after 1st October 2020 are eligible for getting benefit of this scheme. Under this scheme, government is bearing both employees' share that is 12% of wages, and employer's share, that is 12% of wages of contribution payable to only the employee's share depending upon the employment. I will explain you this concept. 12%, I think you have clear with this concept. So government is paying either this 12%, that is employee's share, or this 12% that is employer share, subjected to these two conditions. The first condition, both employers and employees share, that is 24% of wages, for the establishment which has 100 employees and their 90% of employees were getting wages less than of 15,000. And in case of they are providing employees share when the establishment has strength more than 100. So these are the two conditions. Under these two conditions, the persons, the people, the employees are getting benefit of this Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana. Now the eligibility, friend, it is very important. And under this, first of all, the employee drawing the monthly wages less than or equal to 50,000. And before that, he was not working in any establishment registered with Employees Provident Fund Organization before 1st October of 2020 and did not have any universal account number or EPF account number prior to 1st October. I mean to say, if any person is working in any organization, under this the establishment is not registered with this EPFO organization, EPFO, and he has not UAN number before this 1st October 2020 are eligible for getting benefit of this scheme, and he should have salary equal to or less than 15,000. And in second case, if any EPF member possessing universal account number drawing monthly wages of less than 50,000 and who made exit from the employment during COVID situation between 1st March to 30th September and did not join any employment EPF covered establishment up to this 30th September are eligible. So it is very important. I have told you, मैंने आपको बताया कि 1st March 2020 से लेके और कोविड सिचुएशन जो है अभी तक कंट्रोल में नहीं आई है. ठीक है, हम लोग अभी सेफ साइड है, वैक्सीन वगैरह लग गई है, फिर भी तो उस समय क्या हुआ था कि जो 1 मार्च से लेके और 30 सितंबर तक जिन लोगों की नौकरियां चली गई और उनके पास अकाउंट नंबर है और उसके बाद 30 सितंबर के बाद उन्होंने किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को ज्वाइन नहीं किया है जो कि ईपीएफओ से रजिस्टर्ड है, तो वो इस स्कीम का बेनिफिट ले सकते हैं. सो इट वाज आत्मनिर्भर भारत रोजगार योजना. सो फ्रेंड, दिस वाज पार्ट 1 ऑफ माय लेक्चर सीरीज. आई विल soon upload part 2 so you can revise whatever you have earned. So friends, these are our star performers which have performed very well in our 2020 RBI Grade B exam, and we are offering this SEBIGRADEA course at rupees 2499 and combo course of RBI Grade B at 34 plus SEBIGRADEA at rupees 3499. For more update you can visit our website, that is www.crackgradeb.com. These are the features of our courses, or these are the things which we are covering in our course. You can purchase this course at rupees 2499. For a more update you can visit our website, that is www.crackgradeb.com. So friends, thank you and happy learning. पढ़ते रहिए, मेहनत करते रहिए.